This is Bryce Burge, host of Your Soccer Passport. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hi, this is Peggy Rojas, host of Viviendo una Vida en Balance here at Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you can come back and check my show, Viviendo una Vida en Balance, where we talk about life hacks to live a life in balance. And this show's in Spanish. A new show comes out every Monday, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and share with your friends. Again, thank you for checking out the following broadcast in Public House Media.
Everybody, it's No Filter Friday on Public House Media, and it's a very LaCroix kind of a day. Kevin Spacey had to go before a judge. There was some things with Ashley Judd and Harvey Weinstein because, as I said before, Kevin Spacey's the new Harvey Weinstein. I think Harvey's a little bit upset about getting edged out. So I'm going to take a minute to share the broadcast because we want people to spill this tea with us. There's no point in spilling tea if nobody's there to hear it. That's no fun. No fun at all. So we shall take a second. But it wasn't as juicy as I was hoping it was going to be. But then Kevin Spacey got pulled over, which I think is really interesting. Share. Come on, let me share my own broadcast. Start a watch party. Nope. I just want to share. Roger Neal's here. Hello, Roger Neal. How are you? Okay, broadcast shared. Go back to my fun window. Okay. I'm going to get tea to spill right now. Thank you, David Boppy. There was a headphones crisis. That's why we were a little bit delayed this evening. Does it sound okay? Doing good. I know, dude. Oscar season is Roger Neal's season. Those two things are synonymous. Of course you're doing good. When I think of Oscars, I think of you. Oh goodness, look at this here. I did not mean to do that. Okay. Well, I guess you're all gonna have to suffer through this weird piece of hair that the podcast people don't. Such is life, y'all. Such is life. Any hoozles. On Monday, it's kind of been an eventful #MeToo week, y'all. Kevin Spacey appeared before the judge on Monday, and then sometime around Wednesday or something, Ashley Judd, for whatever reason, because it was not strategic, it seemed like a real knee-jerk move, filed a sexual assault case against Harvey Weinstein, and it got thrown out of court because I'm sure she's well past her statutes, and he's got way bigger fish to fry right now. So I think she was just doing that for publicity, for what that was a silly move. And really the thing is too is people shouldn't do that. There are really serious Harvey's facing really serious charges. And that, nobody needs to be taking away from that for their own publicity game. If you have, an actual case against this person and you're within your statutes, then wait till all that, either join to the case if it's in the applicable state or wait your turn, because it's not cool to go bounce, taking time and energy away from other people's cases. That's not cool, y'all. Don't do that. But we're living in a world that does do stuff like that. So anyway, we appear before Kevin Spacey appeared before the judge in Nantucket like he was supposed to for his arraignment. And they're in that state, you get automatically pled not guilty unless you plead some other way. So, and of course he's going to plead not guilty. But, so basically what happens next is they're going to go to discovery, which he doesn't have to be. Like, the judge ordered him to be there for the arraignment, but he doesn't have to be there for the next trial date. Or it's not a next trial date, it's a hearing, to see if they're going to go to trial via prosecution. But with that being said, that hearing date is until like March 3rd. So unless something like really gets crazy between now and then, like this whole Kevin Spacey thing might get a little bit quiet until March. And depending on how Harvey Weinstein's feeling, like maybe he'll really get back in the game. But Kevin Spacey doesn't have to go to the next one, but on the next trial, either the prosecution's going to say that they have sufficient evidence to go to trial, or that they need an extension, or the state's going to drop the charges. So on the grounds of insufficient evidence. So we will see what happens with that. But they've been granted, every defense does this, but they've been really, really vocal about how they fully plan on just destroying this 18-year-old's credibility, because he said that he was 23 when he was in the bar restaurant thing, and Kevin Spacey was sending him drinks and he was accepting drinks. And although I can see that you would use that argument, at the same time though, it's the establishment's job to card. Why wasn't this guy getting carded? Again, I understand, because I didn't ever get carded until I was 21. But that's the thing though. But that's one of the reasons why I wasn't getting carded, is because back in the day, oh my gosh, I've just been going through this part of my life again. But back in the day, I was 18, 19, going to clubs in Detroit and stuff. Granted, you can physically get into the establishment, bars and clubs, if you're under 21, but back in the day, I don't know if it's this anymore because I haven't been 21 in a while, or gone out in Detroit, gross. But they used to just X our hands. You come in the door, you'd show them your ID, oh, you're under 21, they put X on your hands, so you can't order a drink. That stopped us. So with that being said, gosh, whatever, I don't care. So we used to go to this bar called Tonic in Detroit, or it's in Pontiac, not really in Detroit. And that's where we met Obi Trice, and Obi would just order all kinds of drinks. And if you're in the VIP, literally nobody cares. You can pour your own drinks. That club is not a nice club to have bottle service. They'll bring a bottle to your table, but they're not gonna pour it for you. But we always had drinks, and it was no problem. So that point I get, but I do think that the established, especially if you're in a place that's not a gray area like that, I do think that the venue does have some liability on not carding that person, because a reasonable person would expect someone to be carded. That's at Hooters, we'd say we card George Burns, but in the state of Michigan, for example, you have to card everybody, because to drink in public, or in an establishment, I should say, to be more specific, you have to have your ID on you to drink, not necessarily to card you. If you're a 70-year-old person, you're obviously over 21, but you have to have your ID on you to drink, point blank, period. That's the law. So I do think a reasonable person would expect the venue to be carding people. So we'll see if that argument has any legs or not, but they're going to try to go after this 18-year-old. I don't want to keep calling him a kid. That's not nice. Go after his credibility. But that's what all defense does, especially when they've got some mounting evidence. And I've heard there's been some reports that there's a video of Kevin Spacey grabbing said 18-year-old crotch at this bar. And a la the Bill Cosby case, they're going to bring in prosecutions planning to bring in other people that have had situations with Kevin Spacey, but not the problem, but the way it'll work or not work is depending on if it's probative or prejudicial. They have to prove that it's probative, but it worked in the Bill Cosby case, and Bill Cosby is sitting in jail right now as we speak. So, and I think R. Kelly is Probably behind him, but who knows? I kind of want to do like a special thing on R. Kelly, maybe not, not totally sure. But that's another thing that like popped off huge this week was the R. Kelly documentary, surviving R. Kelly and all that stuff, and he's like performing again, which is crazy. Um, so maybe this Kevin Spacey thing will quiet down. But like when he left the courtroom, so it's like his arraignment only took like his time before the judge was only like a couple minutes, and he leaves the courtroom and proceeds to get pulled over for speeding in Nantucket as he's leaving. And apparently they just let him off with a warning or whatever, but still, like, seriously? Gonna leave and speed away from the courthouse in your arraignment and get pulled over for speeding? It's not a good look, y'all. It's not a good look. So another thing that happened was this Harvey Weinstein situation, which I think is just depressing. Like, I don't think it's like anything really that anybody should be like particularly excited about. Like, I think any reasonable person could be like, that's not going to have any legs. That's just going to be some craziness. But, you know, maybe Harvey doesn't like Kevin stealing his sexual assault thunder. He doesn't want him coming up for him. But whatever. Harvey's got more problems than anybody. Certainly more than 99. For sure. But this R. Kelly thing is like crazy though too. Oh my goodness. It just made me okay, so I posted a few articles this week. One of them was there was a lady, let me get her name, that was sex trafficked for a long time as a minor. She was underage and she ended up killing oh look, okay, so there's Kevin Spacey pulled over speeding after appearing in court. Classy, Kevin. Classy. Okay, so she was granted. Okay, so this lady was granted clemency, basically. Her name is Centoya Brown. But she's been in prison for 15 years. So, she's 30, and she's been in prison since she was 15 because she was being sex trafficked as a minor by this guy. And she killed him. She murdered him, which seems like a great idea to me. If somebody's sex trafficking me, I'd definitely murder them. For sure. And she was a minor. But anyway, she got sentenced to 51 years in prison, and her story's kind of taken off recently. And they were able to get the governor of that state to grant her clemency. So she's going to get out of jail in August. In mid-August, she's going to get released from jail, and she's going to have to do, I think, some community service and like probation. And then that'll be that. She can get back to the rest of her life. But like, can you imagine? I'm 30 years old. Like, I've done so much in the last like year or 5 years or 10 years. I can't imagine like all the stuff that I've done since I was 15. Are you kidding? Like, she's missed all that. So not only did she get her youth stolen from her by the man who was sex trafficking her, and then she murdered him, and then she got sent to prison for 15 years, which is crazy. Could you please explain clemency for us? Okay, clemency is like, this is Rachel's definition of clemency, which is not official. If you want the official definition of clemency, you're going to have to Google it. But Rachel's definition, the No Filter Friday, the No Filter Friday, not Webster's definition of clemency is, you all know what a pardon is when a governor or a president or somebody says, it's okay, you're pardoned, you can go, it's fine. Clemency is when they're like, you did do this, you were guilty of said crime, but we don't really mind, like, don't worry about it. Yeah, you did do it, but it's cool, we got you. That's That is the No Filter Friday definition. That's the No Filter Friday definition of clemency. So she's gonna get the reason why she's not. People keep asking this. Why is she not getting out of prison like immediately? Like she's granted clemency, like turn her loose. Is because she's been in prison for 15 years, and she has to be kind of like when you leave the military, you have to be like debriefed basically, and because she's getting a clemency, not a pardon. She's got to go through the like the transitional, like the classes and all that stuff for her to get out of prison. They can't just like kick her out the door and be like, see you, bye. Like that's not how this works. So she's gonna go through all of her transition into free society stuff for the next 8 months. So hopefully she can keep it together, because she definitely does not deserve to be in prison. She should have been she should have been not pardoned, but should have been found not guilty on self-defense initially, but she wasn't. So, and she did kill the guy, like there's no question about that, but he deserved it. He deserved it. He had it coming. You know, the what's that razzle dazzle Chicago, the musical, the better version, not the stage. Oh, Brittany's here. Brittany's my cousin. I've been meaning to call Brittany. I got to figure that out. Anyway, so in Chicago, Renee Zellweger and Catherine Zeta-Jones, and there's a song in Chicago, the Broadway version and the movie, where it's all these ladies that are in prison and they sing the song that he had it coming. And I think Centoya Brown could have, she's totally a candidate to sing the song, and B, if they do like an off-Broadway hood tour version, she should totally just be like a walk-on role, whether she can sing or not. Like, she can just do like a thing at the end, be like, he had it coming, and then just walk off stage, and that's good enough. It's good enough for me. That's all I think you should do. Anyway, so that happened, but I was wondering, okay, so the reason I posted this article, now that we've discussed Rachel's, definition of clemency, Kevin Spacey, Harvey Weinstein, Ashley Judd, all these people. So the reason why I posted that article is A, it's very relevant, and it's great that she got granted clemency, and she's not going to spend 51 years in prison for killing the man who trafficked her as a minor. I posted that article because of those reasons, and because I kind of want to talk about like how easy it is to get snatched away by a pimp, basically. And I was thinking about doing a special bonus episode of No Filter Friday on it, because it's not a Hollywood story, but it does kind of go with our overall like reaching theme, but not our tight theme. So like, this is the target here, and then out from there, you're over the target, but not, not really. Any hoozles. Yeah, do whatever, Brittany. Knock yourself out. Whatever you want to do, you do it. Any hoozles. Anyway, so I'm thinking about doing a special episode on that, because I have encountered pimps so many times throughout the years that are just right at the ready, just trying to find, whoever they can to make a dollar. And okay, so let's do this. So if all the No Filter Friday listeners or watchers maybe commit to watching Hustle and Flow, together or separately, however you want to do it. And then we'll talk about Centoya Brown if we feel like that's something that we want to do on this show, because I'm kind of itching to do it, but if it's off topic, then maybe I should just not do it as for the show, and maybe I'll just like write a thing about it. I'm not totally sure. But the amount of people out there that are lurking, waiting, and trying to ruin your life over like 25 cents would shock you. Like, it would absolutely shock you. And I don't think it's something that people really think about. But maybe in the wake of this surviving R. Kelly situation, like maybe that's a thing that we should do, because I see a lot of people being really judgmental all the time, but especially in these cases of like, why didn't they do this or why didn't you do that, and blah 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 blah. And it's either like 3 ball hairs away from victim shaming or just outright victim shaming. I see all kinds of disturbing things on the internet, obviously. Anyway, Brittany says, girl, I always do what I want. That's why I'm the troublemaker in the family. First of all, I makes the trouble. I invented the trouble, okay? So don't think for a second that you're taking that spot. But we'll get to that later. Anyway, I make the trouble. If I didn't make any trouble, I wouldn't be able to do this show because I wouldn't know anything, okay? I've been around here, out there, in the Hollywood, behind that shutter, been out there. That's how I know these things and these wretched people. Anyway, so I can talk about them and judge them on the internet, but from a real factual place. Anyway, so with this R. Kelly situation, I mean, I've seen it happen on so many flavors, like people getting caught up and stuff, but what really disturbed me, I saw somebody on my Facebook had posted, if you remember way back when I did the Matt Lauer episode about how he had the little button in his office. Oh, I thought I had a button. I don't. He had a little button in his office in his desk to like lock his door from his desk. And I thought that was like a really big piece of the story, but apparently somebody missed it. So this guy posted about, his rate button, Matt Lauer's rate button in his office. And somebody commented below him, are you making a joke about how they could just walk away from him? And the guy that originally posted, he was like, no, that's a real thing. Like, how did you not see this? And like, I didn't see it. I didn't see it at all. I had no idea that Matt Lauer did that. I'm like, yeah, he did. That's the whole thing. But it really irked me because like this whole just like, oh, just walk, like, why didn't you just walk away from this person? And it's like, well, I don't really like to say that people are coming from an uninformed place, but unless, because like there's not very many times this happens to men, but as a lady, there's several times in your life where you're going to want to exit a situation or get away from somebody, but they are physically superior to you or superior to, and or superior to you in other ways, and you can't just be like, spit on your heels, peace, bye. Like that doesn't work quite how you think it does in your mind when you've never been in a position where you've needed to do it. So don't judge is kind of also the overreaching theme of the show. But any hoozles, let me know what you want to do about that. If we should do Centoya Brown as a bonus episode, or if nothing happens next week, we should do like a real episode, because I feel like in this year's a year in review episode, there was a few episodes that I did last year that were like, off the beaten path. So, I thought I would, not necessarily put it to a vote, but, open the suggestion DMs as, we don't have a real suggestion box, but we do have suggestion DMs. And, just leave me a comment or a DM, or just be like, yeah, maybe do that as a bonus episode and keep to the Hollywood Me Too stuff for next week, or why not? Let's unpack the pimp's backpack, because I'm itching to. I just want to know in which way to do it. Which way? It's going to happen. We're unpacking the pimp's backpack. 100% for sure. It's going to happen. But we just need to know the way in which we're going to unpack that backpack. As a bonus episode or as a regular episode? And we'll keep the Hollywood Me Tooing going together. Also, I was so busy this year. I didn't really do Globe stuff. And it crept up on us so fast. It was such an early year for Globes. Like, Happy New Year, let's go to the Golden Globes. Like, it was really, 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 I was so busy with work stuff. Like, I didn't have time for Globes. Everybody seemed like they had a good time. It wasn't as crazy as last year. Yay for Regina King. She's such a cool lady. Like, back when she wasn't booking work like really, really consistently, she was a cheer coach in Pasadena between jobs. And I think that's really, really cool. She's a really down lady, and that's awesome that she won. So hopefully she just get the supporting actress curse though. Hopefully she'll just keep booking more and more and more and more. I've got piles of SAG screeners and I haven't even watched any of them yet, and I need to do that. I did see Mary Queen of Scots in the theater, and that was it was lovely, but I don't think we're gonna get any love for it, unfortunately. I just don't think it's there. I don't think I don't think they told a particularly compelling version of the Mary Queen of Scots story that, nobody's already heard. So, we'll see. Vice came in the mail today. So my one screener that I do really, really, really want to watch is The Favorite, because A, I love historical period drama, and B, Emma Stone's in it. So 2 things that make me very happy. So I do want to see that. What else came in the mail? Black Panther came in the mail the other day. They've just been coming. All the screeners have been coming. So we'll see what happens. Guild Awards are coming up, which I think is going to be interesting now that people are like kicked out of their guilds. Like Harvey Weinstein's like been kicked out of PGA. And the Guild Awards are kind of like, they're not televised. Like they're a lesser. They're in the grand scheme of things, like as far as like pop and circumstance go. The Guild Awards outside of the SAG Awards are not like PGA, WGA, DGA, costumes, hair and makeup, all that stuff. Those are not like super, super big award shows, but they're important. And the people that, especially now that people are like losing their guild status because of, sexual harassment or whatever, like this is the first year, like in my recollection, that's ever happened. So that we might get some pieces of, get some juicy tea, from said guild show. So we'll see. But I will see you all next week, or maybe even before then if we decide to do this bonus episode. And if you have questions about R. Kelly, even though I don't know him, I do know things about him. So if you have R. Kelly questions, send them over. And I will see you all next week or before for another episode of No Filter Friday on Public House Media. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for being thanks for coming on the what do they call it? A vlogcast as opposed to the podcast, because it's a video. Fun fact about No Filter Friday. No Filter Friday has been at the top of the vlogcast number leaderboards for like a few months now, and I'm very happy about that. And it's because of you. And it's because of you folks that watch the show. But if you're a podcast person, check. Oh, Tiara's here. Hello, Tiara. Tiara, my spiritual advisor. But if you are a podcast person, get No Filter Friday as the podcast anywhere you want to get podcasts from. iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast, all those places have it on Public House Media. And I will see you all later. Bye, 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 bye.